Chapter 3 Stories from the Past. Enough writing for today. Anna Veronica saves the document and backs it up. She will not risk losing all the hours of work. It is almost dark outside. The summer house is just a few yards from the seashore. She quickly puts on her jacket and shoes and goes down to the familiar place by the boathouse. She used to play here when she was little, sometimes alone and sometimes with her siblings and cousins. For hours and hours, with no sense of time and place, with stones, shells, and sticks, and everything else that only a child's imagination can find from nature's toy chest. The memories are many and dear to her. Anna Veronica starts walking slowly along the shore. Her eyes are searching for stones. This is something she loved to do when she was little, and still does. It is a hobby that never left her. The shapes, the colors, the patterns, the sizes, stones are her thing, and with the shamanic work these past years, it all makes perfect sense. She picks up a few and holds them in her hand, feeling their energy. All about one goes back on the shore. A small, smooth, oval-shaped black stone stays with her. She does not know why or where it wants to go yet, but time will show. It always does. She puts it in her pocket. Anna Veronica finds a big flat stone close to the water's edge and sits down to relax. She lets her eyes wander to the other side of the sea, then drifts back to the ski resort and the first Friday night disco in the basement of the guest house. The music is playing loudly. Songs from the 80s. The whole bunch of crazy, funny and hopeful young adventurers are on the dance floor, singing, shaking and goofing around to the song. Everyone is dancing with everyone else, sometimes two and two, and occasionally in a circle. The beer that they have been drinking by the fireplace earlier in the night makes them all a little braver than usual, especially since they do not know each other that well yet. Some of the young Frenchmen are watching them from the side. A few join the dance. Then the song stops, and the tender tunes from a slow romantic song fills the room. Jacob and Anna Veronica are drawn to each other like two magnets. She thinks he is the handsomest man she has ever met, and now they are dancing together, closer and closer. Their eyes close. Then they kiss. No one else exists but the two of them. He kisses her eyelids gently, then her cheeks, then her lips. It is the most romantic moment in Anna Veronica's 21-year-old life. She returns from the memory. What was the song that they danced to? If only she could remember, but she cannot. She shakes her head a little and smiles to herself. She was so in love. Anna Veronica gets up and walks back to the house. Inside she puts the small oval stone on a small altar by the fireplace, where she has a few things that she always brings with her. Then she stretches and yawns. Time to go to bed. Tomorrow she is going to visit Steinar, her mom's cousin. After Anna Veronica began writing, she has become more interested in their family history, and as the years have passed, she has come to value the strong storytelling tradition in her family, especially on her mom's side. She often asks her about the past, and her mom loves to share stories that she has heard from her own mom and dad, her grandparents, and other relatives. Before coming here, Anna Veronica asks her about Grandma and Eystein again, but her mom has already told her everything she knows and remembers. If you want to know more, you should ask my cousin Steinar. He's Runa's oldest son. Do you remember Runa? She was Grandma's little sister. Yes, I know. I remember her vaguely. Anna Veronica nodded her head, and her mum continued. Steinar is the one in our family who knows most about our family history. Maybe he knows or remembers something. It was the best advice that her mum could give her. She and Steinar used to play together when they were children, and they know each other well, so Anna Veronica decides to give him a ring and ask if she may come for a visit. She is welcome. The next morning, Anna Veronica rings the bell by the white door with a black iron handle. Steinar lives alone in a small red and white painted wooden house. The door and the window frames are white, the rest is red. He never got married or had any children of his own, and is well known in the family for telling stories from old times. Sometimes the stories seem better and funnier upon each retelling. Anna Veronica feels a little awkward to be here on her own. Usually she visits relatives with her mum, but she does not know when she will be back here, and this is an opportunity to ask him if he knows anything about Eystein and the accident. Besides, her mum's generation is not getting any younger. She never knows when those stories could be lost forever, never to be told to future generations. The door opens from the inside. Hi, and welcome. Steinar looks at her a little shyly. Hi. Anna Veronica smiles, also feeling a little shy. Thank you for letting me come and see you. Of course, come inside. He nods at her in a friendly way and steps back so that she can come inside. Thank you. She gives him the bag of cookies that she brought. Would you like a cup of coffee? Steinar goes into the kitchen while Anna Veronica takes off her jacket and shoes. Yes, please, that would be lovely. She follows him and they sit down by the cozy kitchen table. She might as well get to the point right away and avoid any silly attempt at small talk. I wanted to come and see you because you know a lot about our family history. Well, I don't know about that, but you can always try, of course. Steinar strokes his chin and lowers his head for a moment. Thank you, that is very kind of you. Anna Veronica is grateful for the opportunity. She continues. I wanted to ask you about my grandma, Olava. I went by her grave yesterday. She's buried next to her little brother, Eystein. She told me about him once when I was only 13 years old, and I remember she told me that he died in an accident. I was wondering if you know anything about that. Steinar is quiet for some time while he searches his memory. I don't know much, but I know a little from what my mom told me. Do you know my mom, Runa? She was your grandma's little sister. Yes, I know, and I remember her vaguely from when I was little. Anna Veronica smiles and nods to show that she is listening. Steinar continues. Back in the days, they used to take the animals, the cows and the goats, to the mountain farm during the summer so that they could eat from the fresh grass and drink from the mountain water. I know that Olava and Eystein were there with some of the farm helpers. From what we know, it was an accident by the river. The little boy was only 5 years old. My mom showed me the place once. Steinar lowers his head for a moment. So, do you know where it happened? Anna Veronica is all ears. This is something she has never heard before. Yes, your grandma showed it to my mum once, when they were older. Steinar nods, then looks at her questioningly. Have you ever been to the mountain farm before? Yes, a few times. More when I was little. Well, it's mostly empty now and decaying. Nobody uses it anymore. If you like, we can walk to the farm one of these days and I can show you the place where the accident happened. Anna Veronica nods her head eagerly. This is such an opportunity. Yes, I would love to see the place. Thank you. She smiles gratefully, and Steinar nods. Good. It's about 2 hours walk each way. It used to be a longer trip, but a few years back they made the road into the mountains longer. He takes a slow sip of his coffee, and Anna Veronica wonders for a moment if she should leave now, but is eager to ask him if he knows more. I will be leaving soon, but I wonder if you remember anything else that your mom told you. Steinar scratches the back of his neck with a slight frown on his forehead. She also told me that Olava was gone for many years after the accident, and that for a long time they didn't know where she was. Anna Veronica is taken by surprise. But do you know where she was? Steinar hesitates for a moment. I think she was in Oslo. It was called Christiania back then, the capital, at least for some time. My mom also mentioned something about a ship to America, but I'm not sure. A ship to America? Did Grandma go to America? My mom mentioned it once, but I never got around to asking her more about it. But Anna Veronica is bewildered. There is so much about Grandma's life that she does not know anything about. Steinar continues. We also know that she worked in a hotel for some years before she came back. That was where she learned to become a confectioner. Oh, of course, I see. Anna Veronica smiles as she recalls the memory. Everyone loved Olava's cakes and desserts, and they were famous in the small community. She also knows that Grandma used to have her own little cafe in the nearby town when she was younger, but that was before Anna Veronica was born. Did your mom ever tell you anything about the Romani family that Grandma met and the woman that I'm named after? Veronica? Steinar hesitates for a moment, but shakes his head slowly. No, not more than what your grandma and your mom have told you. Steinar takes a bite of his cookie, and so does Anna Veronica. She sits for a moment, lost in her own thoughts. I wonder why she never told anyone more about this when she was alive. She feels that there are so many missing pieces, and is curious to know more about the woman that she's named after. Who was she? Steinar only shakes his head a little. Well, I guess there are some stories that you can only really share with your own soul. I think that goes for most people. Anna Veronica looks at him a little puzzled. He's wise and he's right. For a moment, she wonders what his life has been like. Before she leaves, they agree to meet in 3 days and walk to the mountain farm.